俺の名はビンスモークサンジ。帰れ、下級海賊ども。
お前とは戦わねえ。
お前はいつもわがままばっかりだよ。
俺のこと蹴るだけ蹴っても痛えのはお前だろサンジ。
I guess I could show you kids a thing or two.
Whoa! So that's what my dads look like when they fuse.
This is as good as it's gonna get. All right, yeah. One Piece, the past 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, I want to say the past
post
3 weeks.
Act 2 of Wano has just been amazing. I'm really glad we're not back in Wano yet.
Yeah, I think we need this little break away from Wano because we already know what's going to happen. We see the big players coming out, some great alliances, some new weapons. Everyone's getting an upgrade. A lot of great information just got handed to us in the last few chapters before the end of chapter 1. So,
yeah, One Piece was trending, I think, 2 weeks in a row now. It was 957 was the last chapter. That was trending. And I think 956 was also trending. And 955, I think.
yeah,
So,
and I think there was a break between 954 and 955 for about a week. So we've been getting pretty spoiled with One Piece.
yeah, and there's going to be a new chapter this week, too.
Yep.
Yeah, so I cannot wait.
It's going to be so good.
So I'm betting at least one more chapter before we go back to Wano.
I'd be okay with another chapter before Wano because
Yeah.
with the lore that they introduced this last one, I mean, that's just...
Damn,
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you're caught up, then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's just... It's a lot of stuff going on.
Dude, there's so many new theories out there just on the new chapter. And yeah, a lot of lore. A lot of lore. It's almost kind of crazy when you think about like the all the info we got from the past.
It's just like you said, there's so many more theories now. I read it twice. I'm probably going to read it a third time before this week's chapter comes out because I got a lot of questions, man. Got a lot of questions, and we might have to do a spoiler alert, episode just on these last few weeks because
Yeah.
so much content, so much great stuff from Oda. He knows what he's doing. He's holding us by a string, and he just keeps pulling on it, and we're coming right back over and over again.
Mm-hmm. One Piece continues to prove that it is the #1 Shonen Jump manga right now.
I agree.
The monster of a series. God, did you I think we talked about it before that there's that video of showing like the past 10 years of manga sales and One Piece never moved from the top. Like nobody even got like near it.
I believe it.
Maybe Attack on Titan was the closest. But yeah, he's doubled whoever is second place every single year.
I fully believe it because you know what? It's too good. Right now, I don't even want to say it's at its prime. I feel like we've hit almost the peak. And then from there, we're just going to keep plateauing on this peak with One Piece right up till the end because there's just so much going on. I love it. It makes me really happy that I made the investment many years ago to get into One Piece and to just stick along through it. And, I think I might do what you just did, which is to reread One Piece from the beginning because I'm sure there's a lot of good details that, I've probably forgot over time because it's been like 7 years since I, caught up to One Piece at that point in time from the beginning, watching the anime and reading the manga. And it just, I know that there's probably a lot of really good foreshadowing in there that it's going to make a lot more sense to what's going on now.
Yeah, well, I think with the Wano stuff, there's really not much. There were hints and stuff that I didn't notice, like during the Zoe arc, and then just info you kind of get hinted at here and there. And man, with the new chapter, you know, when they're talking about like all these pirates, and they brought up a name, and I was thinking like, yeah, this name's always being brought up, and I forgot we actually saw him back in Thriller Bark. And I was like, damn, yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird, I think, because if this pirate is that big of a player and then to see him wound up where he was, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
You have to tell me the name of this pirate.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you after. There's a lot of stuff I'll mention. There's a few theories, which one theory is just doesn't make sense because it's been on Twitter. I was scrolling through Twitter, hearing these theories, and then I'll just look and they'll show 2 panels, and I'm like, these I don't really see how they correlate, but everybody seems to agree. So we'll see where we go from there. But aside from all that good One Piece content, and Stampede is coming out this month, so that's another highlight. Best time to be a One Piece fan right now.
I definitely
We're just
agree.
short of a really good game.
We really need that.
I'm hyped for Pirate Warriors 4.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the original story for Wano, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, they have to do that because this game comes out next year.
Right,
Act 3 of Wano will not be done, and Pirate Warriors has done this before. I guess in 3 I didn't know because I didn't beat it, but Dressrosa had its own ending apart from the manga, and then Pirate Warriors 2 had its own like weird spin-off thing to where like the end of that game was the Summit War, and the end of the game is where Ace actually lives, and
I do
so does
remember that.
Whitebeard.
Yep.
So yeah, it does its own thing, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine because they want you to play these guys. Like the fact that we're in Wano for Pirate Warriors 4 is a big deal. So
Yep, I agree.
yeah, and then from that gameplay footage, you fight Big Mom. She's like in the stage, and it's like Jesus Christ.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we got an email from the boy Mark. Thank you as always for emailing us. That's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And he asks, he was trying to platinum Kingdom Hearts 3. He thought there was a bug happening that would stop recording his treasure chest logins in order to get all his journal entries for the trophy. It turns out he was looking at the wrong section of the journal, and he was freaking out for nothing. Hate it when that happens.
Hi, man. I also platinum Kingdom Hearts 3, and let me tell you, when you get all the treasure chests, especially in Pirates, it's such a rewarding feeling. It really is. I hope that you also unlocked Ultimate Weapon by doing that, by doing the other stuff, which is the Flan Heartless challenges, because Ultimate Weapon is probably the most fun Keyblade to use in the game, in my opinion, just because there's so many anime moments while you're using it. And also the fact that if you do have it, it makes your New Game Plus critical mode be that much more fun while it being extremely difficult. I think I'm only on my 4th world now in that run, and I'm still having a hard time.
Yep.
I mean, I died to the tutorial boss, I think, like 6 times.
You gotta hate when that happens. So he asks, what was a game that either hard/soft locked you from progress, couldn't get the trophy, or not beat the game? To come in mind, there was that game we played on the YouTube channel. It was Skyscrapers. It's that 4-player game. It's pretty fun.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
But I don't know if they fixed it or not, but there was a glitch to get all the trophies, because there's 4 trophies where you have to do each character's story, and the glitch is you won't get the trophy that says you complete all of the stories unless you do every story in a row, like without turning your PlayStation off or closing the game. And that it just takes a long time. I always try every now and then if I lose one match, I'm like, I don't want to keep going. So I don't have the platinum for that, but I technically should have all the trophies for that.
I will say one, Kingdom Hearts. There is a trophy that you can get for Chain of Memories, which essentially is you beat the game in one run. So you
Jesus.
cannot turn off your PS4. You just got to go through the entire game and beat it. Which is pretty difficult alone because the card-based system, as much as I love it, I hate it at the same time. It's very frustrating. Another one that comes to mind is one that I have never done, even though I've beaten the shit out of this game over and over again. To get, and this is in Final Fantasy IX, to get the ultimate weapon for Steiner, the knight in the game, you have to get to disc 4 within 25 hours.
Jesus.
Which I don't know how people did it before, because there's a lot of points in the game that I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Unless you're really speedrunning it. But even then, there are certain boss battles that I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how you could have possibly gone through any of this without grinding a little, a pretty decent amount actually. And then getting to disc 4 and then getting to this one spot at the end of disc 4 where it's like, oh, hey, now I can go to this one corner of this one stage. Boom. I get the ultimate weapon for this guy.
Mm.
Now I see it being more of a possibility because when they remastered the game, there is that button you can press for the Switch. It's if you press the L trigger, you now have super speed. Well, like you go in fast mode. So everything you're just flying through. Still haven't tried it yet because I love the game too much to actually go and do that with it. But one day I'll get there. But those are the two games come to my mind with trophies that that's difficult. That's tough.
Another one for me was Neo, actually. As I was trying to platinum the game, one of the trophies is beat all the missions.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, there's just... this was post-game when I was doing this. And there's a mission where you have to fight Hanzo and the female ninja who's part of the main story. Mm-hmm. And Neo is one of those games where, like, yeah, if you have to fight human opponents, you're going to have a really hard time. And they're ninjas, it does not help at all. Like, I kept trying to play it, and I was like, this is just ridiculous. And I was in the party chat, and Akil was saying, like, well, I got that trophy, and I didn't have to do that mission. And I was like, what? And so I kept doing, like, these side missions, and luckily you could see the progress bar, and it wouldn't move for complete missions. And I'm like, what is going on? So I had to have Akil look at the missions he completed, and then I would look at my map and see like, oh, okay, I didn't do that one. I'll do this. Or yes, I did that. So that took me a good while to do because, yeah, the game just doesn't tell you what missions you should or shouldn't do. So that took a lot longer than I thought. But I think those are the only other ones. And it never really locked me from progress as the other part of the question. But yeah, as far as trophies, definitely Neo. You should just look and see. I tried looking up what missions to do, and I guess it was too early in the game's life, so where like we really didn't get any information. Right. Like, nobody was posting the stories, and I was like, okay, all right, whatever. So he's got one more. He says, this season of anime is being nothing but generic trash. He dove into a series called Fire Force. Now, this thing has been super popular. This is the firefighter one.
Oh, yes.
And I guess it's been going on the manga's been going on for a long time.
I thought you started reading that manga, didn't you?
No, I threw it on my list. I'm like,
okay.
All right. I've been seeing enough decals, seeing all these posts.
Right.
This and Demon Slayer. Like, I'll get to it eventually. So he says you never heard of it, except it was done by the Soul Eater mangaka. So this is that person's current work. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll definitely check it out because
that's an interesting turn, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as weird as Soul Eater is, and then
that's
if you
true.
look at Fire Force, it's like it's fire demons.
I
saw some of the fights, and I was like, oh yeah, these aren't just fire. Like they're dressed like firefighters, but they're just doing fighting game moves with water.
I see.
It looks pretty cool. And he says it's done by David Productions for the anime.
Ooh.
So that already has me pretty hyped. If you don't know, David Productions is the JoJo team. He went in with zero expectations, and 9 episodes later, it's his favorite anime of the season.
Okay.
So that's pretty good, man.
I'll have to check it out this weekend then. I did not know David Productions is that because DP...
Yeah, I didn't know either.
DP does solid work. I mean, the last anime that's current, I want to say that I watched was Part 5.
It's Part 5, yeah.
And, I mean, just this from start to finish, I was, staying pretty up to date with it. After a certain point, I started just watching my favorite fights, just knowing, what was going to happen when it did.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few episodes where they finally get to the Coliseum and that whole sequence, so good. I mean, the animation was beautiful. They did a solid job. A lot of those things made a lot of sense to me because when I read Part 5, the scans were god awful. So finally, seeing what they were actually saying and what was really going on, really, really well done. So if Fire Force was done by DP, then I'm going to have to go into it.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to check it out as well. So his question is, was there any games, movie, anime, TV shows that you went in with zero expectations and came out loving it? For me, it was God of War 2. The only thing I knew was like, oh, it's Greek mythology. I'm a fan of Greek mythology. Hopped in, love that game. And movies, there's a few, I guess.
I've got a game that comes to mind. Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, yeah.
Because I went into it, the art style looked pretty cool. I heard maybe one track at the BGM. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I could dig it. And then I really got into the game. And man, I think I've logged like 90 hours in.
Yeah,
if not
really
more.
love that game. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite game I bought for my Switch, like above anything else, above Smash, above Zelda, Mario Odyssey. There's just so much content in it, and the fact that it has all the DLC included in the game, and you can just go at it at your own whim, and all I think there's 8 to 10 multiple endings with Hollow Knight alone that impact if you've completed this DLC or not.
Mm-hmm.
So going into it with that knowledge, I was like, okay, I'm going to be sitting on this game for a very, very long time. And I think at 90 plus hours, I'm only at maybe 79% done with the actual game. Because I think the max is 120. So that was definitely a game that I was pretty stoked for with going into it with very little knowledge. And what really got me about it was I'm a little bit of a cheap guy. So when I saw a $15 game with this kind of style, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll go into it. I'll give it a shot. And I'm just waiting for the restock on the physical because I need it. I want it. I got to have it, just like Cold Stone.
Nice. Yeah, everything I've heard about Hollow Knight's just, wow.
Hollow Knight for Smash.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Dude, I'm telling you, his moves just fit so perfectly. But we'll see. Hopefully.
I watched the 100. It's a CW show, so there's really not a lot to expect. But when I stumbled upon it, I was like, oh, I like this kind of genre, post-apocalyptic sci-fi. So I was like, I'll check it out. And then I ended up really enjoying it. So I'm caught up to the current season and then waiting for that final season to drop. So, and man, let me tell you, that last season that came out, they were just like, oh, you thought this was just sci-fi? No. We're going to throw all this shit in there. And I'm like,
those
holy
are the best.
shit. And then looking it up, it's like, oh, next season's the final season. And it's like,
man.
No, you don't just throw what you threw in and be like, yeah, we're going to be done after this.
Damn.
Now, my theory is they might continue the show with a different name.
Right.
Because the show's called The 100. And
kind of like a spin-off type deal.
Yeah, because the 100 references the 100 teenagers that got launched to Earth to see if it was inhabitable still. And now we're only down to like the final 4 or 5,
Damn.
Out of the main characters. So one main character just died at the end of this season. So yeah, we're really slim on that. So unless they want to branch it off and like, this is going to be entirely different, so let's start it off as a new show, that's understandable.
Right.
But we'll see.
I will say TV show that I went into it with little to no knowledge was Preacher. And first season it's pretty great. Second season, probably my favorite one so far. Third season, I really enjoyed. A lot of different options were taken, but the way that it ended was very, very strong. It was nice to see some backstory on Jesse Custer, which is the preacher. Really good stuff. Next week we'll be attending LA Comic-Con, so I'm going to be on the search for a lot of Preacher comics because I've heard that there are some pretty substantial different things between the show and the comics. And I've seen one big difference that someone had said in an article because I just couldn't contain myself. But I'm gonna stop reading ahead and just wait till I find some comics. But Preacher, definitely give it a view. I know they just finished up with their last season, which I was a little upset about because I was hoping for maybe 2 more seasons of content, but I'll take it because the way season 3 ends, it's hitting the big one.
Nice.
Hitting the end. But recommend it, most definitely.
So thank you, Mark, for the emails. And again, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And let's get into this, man. Let's start it off with some of that. We got that State of Play, right? It's Sony's directs, basically. And so far, like 20 minutes is too short. It's just way too short.
I mean, even Nintendo Directs are...
The last one was like 40 minutes.
Yep. And that encompassed a lot of stuff. It wasn't just Smash, which was nice. So I feel that if PlayStation were to continue the State of Play, I mean, unless you're going to do one game, then 20 minutes would be fine if it's going to be like a pretty solid platformer, or like a pretty big game like Last of Us 2. If you had 20 minutes of content for that, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy. But if you're just going to try and bunch everything up together in one basket in 20 minutes, it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah. I mean, I like the State of Play. It showed a lot of variety of what's coming from PlayStation, which was pretty refreshing. There's this new game called Humanity, which is what they use to tease the State of Play. I didn't really see a lot of it. I missed this part of the stream, but I was like, okay, it looks okay, I guess. I'll just wait for another trailer. They showed off Modern Warfare. God, the CG looks amazing in that game.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, those cutscenes were, wow.
Haven't bought a shooter in a long time, but I might have to pick this one up. And I heard really good things about the beta as well.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna have. Oh no, the second one just passed last week, so maybe they'll do one more before it launches. Well, it's this month, so we'll see. And then from the Katamari people, we got that new game Watum. Did you see the trailer for this?
No, I did not. I'm actually gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Looks interesting. I can't tell because of the way the graphics are if we saw gameplay or if it was all just just a trailer. I think it's safe to say maybe half of it is gameplay, but it looks fun. Just a simple, cute chibi stuff going on for that game right there. And
I mean, if it's from the people that do Katamari, this is going to be a fun game because Katamari games have always been just great things. So always a fun time.
And then right after that, we got Arise, A Simple Story. This is a Journey-esque game. Looks pretty interesting. I like the graphics for it. Looks pretty fun. And it's up for pre-order. If you pre-order it on PSN, it's only $20, so that's pretty good. You're gonna get the soundtrack as well. And you know me, I'm a fan of video game soundtracks. I think they're pretty interesting, and that drops on December 3rd.
Might have to pre-order it then, because I mean, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it looks real nice. You play as this old man, and yeah, it's just like Journey, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I just watched that trailer. We could say that it could be gameplay because very Katamari-esque. I mean, in every Katamari game I've played, the cutscenes are not very different than the actual gameplay. Which is pretty nice. You at least know what you're getting yourself into, but
yeah.
I mean, it looks fun. I mean, from what I can see, which is not very much, but I mean, I do like the character, little chibi square with 4 different hats on and a little bomb underneath his hat, so we can see how this could work out. Have to see more content, though.
So the next one was... I don't remember this game. The next one was LA Noire VR got announced. I don't think it's the whole game. I think it's just a specific set of missions that you could do in VR. So that's pretty cool. And then after that, was Medieval. We got a trailer because that comes out this month as well. And we got a demo later that day. You got to play one level. And so I picked it up. And if you beat the demo, you get to unlock Sir Daniel's helmet.
Ooh.
That you get to carry over into the full game.
Heck yeah.
And, okay, so I played it. The graphics, it's kind of, man, I don't know. It definitely feels like a PlayStation 1 game. Both, like, how it looks and how it feels when you play. Like, goddamn, was I slipping and sliding, walking around in there. Like, Sir Dan was pretty quick in his walking animation and just the way you attack as well. I had to do it a couple times because I was like, it's just, I gotta get used to this, I guess. You know, I was expecting something different.
You know, it might be like how Second Son started out when you first started the game. Was kind of clunky. And then as you get those abilities with Delson, your actions made a lot more sense.
It gets pretty smooth.
Yeah. So I feel like I haven't played the demo yet, but from what you're saying, that just reminds me so much of Second Son, because when I started the game, I was like, why is he jumping so weird? Why are his movements so strange? They're just very bizarre. But once I actually got some of the abilities that he gets with those powers, I'm like, I get it. Makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. And so this is the third PlayStation 1, in a sense, quote unquote, mascot that's getting a remake, right? Crash and Spiral got one as well. And those games look amazing. Right, graphically they look pretty solid. Playing the Spyro remakes, it's very shiny. It's very colorful compared to what the old games were, but it just looked and felt like Spyro. Here, yeah, it really, I don't know. It's weird how the models look in this game. In a sense, I guess they really are trying to get that PlayStation 1 feel out of this. Like, this is the most out of those three games, and I guess you could count Knack as well, because Knack tried to get that PlayStation 1 feel for those for these type of games. It's a very short demo. It's literally just you walk around right before you hit into this main part where you leave the grave with Sir Daniel, and not a lot to do, but still, it was all right. I hope they fix some stuff in this before it drops.
Drops on Halloween, right?
No, it drops on the 25th, I think.
Okay.
Or 24th, whatever that Tuesday is.
Halloween would have been a cool drop date for it, though.
I think Halloween's on a Thursday.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's a Thursday, and I believe it drops the Friday before. Yeah, the 25th. So, and it's only $30, which is a fair price. But then again, it is only the first game. It's not the other games. So that was also a weird choice for Medieval.
I think they might be waiting to see how this pans out. Which,
yeah.
I mean, would be a good way to test the waters. So.
Yeah, because to be fair, I never played Medieval. I did play him in All Stars though, and I was like, yeah, I like his design. He seems like a fun character, so that's why I was interested in the remake to experience it. And I've heard it was a hard game back in the day as well. So
bring back the hard games.
Yeah, we're getting a port for Civilization 6. That's cool. Last time I played Civilization was like, I went to Office Depot and I bought 3 on disc. Like, that was the last time I played those games. But those are fun.
I think the last time I played one was at the apartment. Jerry had it on his Xbox.
Oh, jeez.
And
I think that was like 4.
Yeah, I remember walking in and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, Civilization. And I was like, so what do you do? And he goes, just sit down and watch. And I just sat there for hours watching. One of those games you can easily get sucked into.
Oh no, yeah, like these kind of games I like. They're pretty, for me, they're pretty fun. It's more strategy than anything, and I kind of like delving into that. Whenever I pull out the PS1, I always throw in my Warcraft 3, and that is gets me going.
I definitely enjoyed.
That's why I play Clash of Clans so much. So
right.
Yeah. So that's cool. We're gonna port. It's on Switch already. So
it is on Switch already.
We got to look at the PS4 Pro Death Stranding edition. It's all white with the black handprints on it. That's pretty fresh.
Looks so good.
And we have that yellow transparent PS4 controller, which good. I think is cool. The transparency is its own aesthetic compared to the rest. I've heard some people aren't a fan of it. Somebody made an edit of the controller though, where on the left hand, where you put your palm. They put the baby on there.
Ooh.
And that's pretty cool. And then listening to a podcast, they're like, how come PlayStation didn't do that? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. Why didn't they do that? Yeah.
They're like, hold on, we can only do so much with a controller.
And just to bring up these two quick things, Death Stranding did go gold the other day. So we're really nearing that point next month, you know.
Time to go away into hiding for a little while.
Wild time. And then Kojima confirmed that your controller speaker, the baby will be able to make noise through it. Yeah.
That's going to trip me out, like middle of the night playing, 3 a.m., going through some really intense scene, just hear some baby sound. You know, I feel like that might have been due to, and I could, I could be wrong, but I think in PT you could hear stuff through the controller as well.
So I listened to a PlayStation podcast called Triangle Squared. They're great guys. I recommend you check them out. And they were talking about this on their latest episode. And the host, Soul, mentioned, he was like, okay, grab the controller. Now, where do you usually have the controller, right, when you're playing? Towards your stomach. And if it's the baby speaking in the game, that's where you have him harnessed in Death Stranding as Norman Reedus. So that's that's pretty immersive. If you're not playing with headphones and then you're able to hear it through the controller, that'll be interesting. Unfortunately, I play through headphones, so probably won't get that effect. But
dang, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's just Kojima stuff. You know. They showed off another indie game called After Party. You're these two friends, and you guys just died. And you made a deal with Satan to where you have to party through hell to escape. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's like a side-scrolling type of game. I saw there was beer pong.
Ooh. And
like some other type of games. I'm like, that's interesting. And then they announced the new games for Plus that are out now. It is The Last of Us Remastered and MLB The Show. I guess the newest one, 19. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, finally, Last of Us is on Plus. It's been so long since we got since that game's been out. I feel like it
should have been on Plus a long time ago.
Yeah, well, we're still waiting for Killzone Shadowfall. That's still not on Plus. It was on Plus once for the UK like years ago.
Okay, that game was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I remember.
I ended up buying it when it was stupid cheap, but yeah, I'm surprised it's still not on Plus yet.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then, of course, we mentioned it before. Everybody knows Last of Us was the final thing for the State of Play. And I was like, cool, I'm ready for some gameplay. I'm ready for a lot of content. And no, we didn't get a lot of content. We just got the trailer and the release date, which the leaks were close. They said the 28th. It's actually the 21st of February, which makes sense for that, for that quarter. My only worry is if Neo is also coming out in February, because it says early 2020 for that game. And Neo 1 was in February, so I'd figured they would keep the trend. And I hope that Last of Us 2 doesn't hurt the sales.
That's true.
Yeah, so did you watch the trailer for Last of Us 2?
I did.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. I was hyped, and then, watching the trailer, and we get a character that dies. And people are saying it's probably just a trick, it's somebody else. But no, I'm pretty sure it's Ellie's, it's that girl she kissed in the previous trailer.
Yeah.
For E3. And when I saw that, and then it's just a revenge story. She's going to go fight these people. I checked out, man. I think I'm good for this game.
It's Last of Us. First one did so well. Storytelling wise, I don't want to believe it's going to be a full revenge story. I feel like that might be half the plot. I feel like once we get the revenge done, then it's going to plateau going to peak up and then plateau somewhere else. I just don't want to fully believe it's going to be an entirely revenge story.
Yeah, and I do trust Naughty Dog,
Mm-hmm.
The games I've played was Last of Us 1, which I think is a great game, great story. Played all of the Uncharted games except Golden Abyss on Vita. But Uncharted is such a strong series itself as well. And I've yet to play Jak and Daxter, but I know those games are good.
Those games are great.
Yeah, so
Great games.
I'm sure this story would be great. We did get some glimpses at the gameplay in this trailer, very fast paced, and you can tell it's complete. It is going to be different compared to how you play as Joel because Ellie's a lot younger.
Yep.
You know, and she's from what I saw, she seems more reckless. So we're definitely going to get some more faster paced action, and I'm sure it'll all be good. But I'm not a big fan of these kind of revenge stories.
We'll have to see, man.
Yeah,
we'll see how
because
this pans out.
the first thing I thought of was this movie Colombiana starring Zoe Saldana, and it's a revenge story as her uncle and aunt get killed, and so she's on this revenge story on this group that she's already targeting because they killed her parents. But in the movie, it's clearly shown that it's her fault her uncle and aunt dies. You know, and she's like, "This is your fault," kind of trope.
Right.
And I'm like, but like you're blaming him, but it was your fault. Like everybody warned you. You know your reckless actions, and I wasn't a big fan of that movie, and that really threw me off for the whole film. There's some great scenes in there, but still, I'm not a fan. So that's the kind of feeling I get in here, and I'm like, it feels like it might be Ellie's fault that they get captured by this big group, this Negan-like group, right? Yep. And that's why this I forget if we got a name for her or not, but she dies. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be the one that dies.
Yeah.
Because it has to happen early on in the story, unless it's not the true motivation for Ellie, unless they're tricking us, which could be the case, but I don't know.
I feel like I read a Twitter post somewhere about the state of play and what they said about Last of Us 2, and I believe it was a comment from Naughty Dog stating that they're putting all their marbles in a basket for this next installment, which I'm really psyched for. You know, but again, there's a couple moving pieces that, you know, it's tough to swallow, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, so I kept telling myself, I'm like, I'll buy the game day one, sure, you know, because I'm gonna play the multiplayer. I love the multiplayer for Last of Us, and then the day after the state of play, we got confirmation.
Yeah, that was. I want to say that comment I read was about that as well, because following that, they said that we will have a faction mode.
So here's the thing. So yeah, multiplayer was called factions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you when you play online, it's the story for online is you create like I guess a colony is one way to put it, and so you have to go out on the online PvP. Mm-hmm. To get supplies, and you get supplies by killing people, you know, and you have to have a certain requirements, and then, you know, your group gets larger, people get sick, you have to, you know, do all this stuff, and then you get a challenge, and you have to complete the challenges, or else people in your colony will die in your faction. And so that's I think what they're talking about. I think it's really weird that they're saying factions is going to be a part in the single player, which I guess if they get your data from Last of Us 1, I guess if you have the save data on your PlayStation, that could play a factor into it. I guess just where you're living. I don't know. But you're at Tommy's power plant, or the generator by the waterfall. So I don't know. But they said, yeah, it's not coming with multiplayer, which was disappointing for me. Also because this game's going to be on 2 discs.
I like that.
The last game that was like that was, I believe, Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2 was on 2 discs?
Yeah, it was 2 discs. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like 104 gig installation.
I remember
day one or something.
The installation being extremely huge.
Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy to me that it's such a big game, but it's only single player. And then they did mention like we're solely focusing on the single player right now,
right? Trying
to make it as good as possible. And yeah, I mean that's Naughty Dog in general, but still their PvP stuff's really good. You know, both Uncharted and Last of Us are great.
Uncharted PvP in 4.
Man, Uncharted PvP is just it's so fast paced, and then if you really want to get serious, switch to Last of Us. You know, and like that gets so intense when you're down to the final like 3 lives of each team. Like, whew, man. So I don't know. I have yet to check any articles about the gameplay because after the state of play in LA, press did get to play 2 hours of the game. So I think I'll just wait till more gameplay, which will probably be later this year.
When's the next game show?
I think we're done, because usually the last one of the year is PlayStation Experience, but I doubt we're doing that again this year, because there has been no word for it, and it's in November when it usually is.
And last year they didn't do one, huh?
Last year they didn't do one either. Yeah. I think now they're just going to focus on state of plays, but again, they're only 20 minutes. Like, that's not a lot of time to really show off anything.
That's what I'm telling you, man.
I like it. I mean, I like it. I think the Nintendo Direct approach is good for PlayStation.
Right. I just feel like they should have a little bit more time.
Yeah, they really should.
Because, I mean, usually Nintendo Directs, unless it's just Smash, which are usually like 15, 20 minutes, then Directs can be like anywhere from 30 minutes to about an hour.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they just encompass so many different fields of what they're trying to do, what's coming out, all these great things. And I feel that if PlayStation took that approach and made it a little bit longer, they would be really solid.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is only the third one, I think, that they've done. So, I mean, we got a lot of room to grow. So we'll see. And of course, we don't know when the next one's going to be. So we'll just wait for that. And so that was pretty much it for State of Play. Again, yeah, it was really short, but still, it was cool to see some variety. A lot of indie stuff, VR stuff, AAA stuff. So I think it's cool to see what PlayStation's going to have their focus on, as in like for variety. That's pretty solid stuff, I think. Glad to see they're still focusing on that kind of things. And yeah, that was pretty much State of Play. And then, so we did get some other news after and before. Just wanted to start off with that. We did get the confirmation, right, a couple weeks ago that Insomniac was bought by Sony. And the question we brought up was, okay, so what happens to Sunset Overdrive? That's a Microsoft game, right?
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, it's an old game. It's a fun game. It's the only non-PlayStation Insomniac game, I believe. So we did get some news about that. They said Sony does own the IP for Sunset Overdrive. However, Microsoft owns the publishing rights. And there's no.
So this is some Banjo-Kazooie.
So there's no port for PS4 being discussed right now.
All right.
So it's up to Microsoft's decision whether or not they want to publish a new game. Which this is such a weird thing, man. Because I guess who's going to be? Are they both going to be funding the game? I mean, it's going to be Sony's team with Insomniac that's going to be working on this. I'm pretty sure Sony will put the money in to make it a quality game. But the question is, they own the IP, so it's a Sony exclusive, right? But it's up to Microsoft to publish it, so that might mean it's not going to be PS4 only.
Right.
Such a weird thing to see.
It might be one of the first.
Yeah, because this is probably the closest. Because, yeah, sure, Microsoft and Sony have worked before with the whole Blu-ray thing.
Right.
In the 360 and the Xbox One. But yeah, this is just weird stuff here.
We're finally gonna cross-platform with a decent game.
I wouldn't mind a sequel. I mean, I've played a little bit before, and I'm like, it's interesting. You could definitely feel the influence for Spider-Man in there, like a little bit of it.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. They have no plans for ports, and maybe with Sony's push, they'll do a sequel. But it's like a 4-year-old game at this point.
That's true.
So who knows? Gogeta dropped in Fighters. I haven't played as him, but I've seen videos, and I didn't watch the video yet on YouTube, but somebody just posted Touch of Death, Gogeta by himself, no tags, no assists, just him.
That's insane, man.
Yeah, and really just looking at this character, there's so much money put into Gogeta. It's astonishing. He has the most work out of anybody, I think.
Okay, look, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think I said this offline, so I'm going to say it for the podcast. They're coming out with a new Guilty Gear.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we got a trailer for that this week as well.
And Axis does Guilty Gear. Axis also is doing Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
Now, when they dropped the trailer for Guilty Gear with Soul and Kai Kisuke, I was like, wow, you're putting cinematics inside your specials. That's pretty cool. Nobody's really done that before. I mean, unless you look at like Blaze Blue, but sometimes even then in the astral attacks, you still have to, it's it's still an animation.
It's the new thing.
So when I saw that Gogeta came out, and you showed me that link at the Tokyo Game Show, I think it was.
It was TGS.
So when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Now I can honestly say there's definitely going to be a season 3, or maybe just characters coming out here and there, kind of like how Smash is going to do it.
I don't know.
It's really just because of the fact that Gogeta has these special animations with his supers that make me really look at it and be like, you're not going to put all this work into your last 2 characters, which would then be, the Broly movie, Broly edition.
Yeah.
Just for 2 people. No, you're going to want to keep that ball rolling, especially because the same people are doing an entire game filled with this kind of content. That's why I brought up Guilty Gear before I went into all this, because it just makes so much sense. And it looks really, really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, man. Again, with the whole thing with Gogeta is he has a lot of supers. Most of his supers can combo into other supers by spending more meter. And just looking at the animation, it's like, oh, they're clearly trying to capture the feel of the Broly movie here. Clearly,
yep.
Like there's a point where we see like a zoom in on his face and the way it distorts with the motion. It's very similar to how it is in the Broly movie. Like, really crazy stuff. And we finally got another dramatic finish with him and Janemba, of course. We didn't get any with the last characters. My only problem the only thing I kind of wish they would do in this is like have like special interactions, right? Mm-hmm. So like if you look at Marvel Infinite, if you have Cap and Winter Soldier on their team, if you do Cap's level 3, a Winter Soldier will join in on the combos. Mm-hmm. Versus where if you don't have Winter Soldier, it's just Captain America doing it himself.
Well, but then you see with Krillin and
Krillin and 18 have that.
And then if you have, I think, Piccolo and Gotenks,
yeah,
they have that. And then so I feel like there's one more.
So here's where I think they could do another level is if you watch the dramatic finish, it's Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, right? Mm-hmm. And the dramatic finish is from Fusion Reborn when he defeats Janemba. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to recreate the scene. However, he powers down to base form and then goes to Super Saiyan form. And then does the final kill with the Shining Flash attack.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
My only thing is, why not just have, when it's Gogeta versus Janemba, just have Gogeta be a Super Saiyan? I think that would play off really well. And also have a lot of crazy more variation in this game. That's the thing this is lacking. I keep constantly saying for fighters, whereas the costumes, it would be pretty fantastic. Like why isn't there a super costume for Trunks, right? So that way you can have him fight Zamasu fused. So that way when you watch the dramatic finish for that, it's really is just like in the super anime.
I completely agree. And this is where I bring it back to, I think I said this before, when the game first came out. Why do we not have a skin for Trunks with his Cell Saga outfit? That
too. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball is one of those shonen series where, sure, they don't change their costumes a lot, but there are a lot of costumes. Tenkaichi 2, when I play that, if you pick Super Saiyan Goku, he has 7 outfits, And one of them is the Frieza Saga outfit where it's battle-torn. And in those games, it's it's like end of Dragon Ball Z style for the Super Saiyan hair, right? Very detailed. But when you pick the battle damage Frieza Saga one, it looks just like how it is, like very simple, not all that extra detail, has that specific glow. Looks really nice. That's what's really lacking here in fighters. And still, the only character that has an alternate costume is Videl.
Hey man, I'll take it. Waifu gang, rise up.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, I remember last year's World Tournament, we got that hype trailer before DLC reveal, and we saw Android 18 in her super costume. Where the heck is that at? We haven't gotten it. But rants aside, yeah, Gogeta looks crazy. I don't know when I'm going to try him out yet. It's been a long time since I played Dragon Ball, so we'll see. We'll see when I have free time to try him out. And then, yeah, we're waiting on Broly. We have no new information on that, so...
Can't wait to add another Broly to my team.
Jesus, man, that's gonna be...
Let me have Broly, and just for the memes and the loud yells at
Broly.
Evo, let me... Oh, dude, if we can get Bio Broly, I would be in it, man.
That'd be fun.
I would love that. But I'll have a full team of supervillains. I'm gonna get Broly, and Cell.
Mm.
And I'll have Cell be first. That way when I go play an EVO championship match, get the whole crowd yelling. Oh!
Yeah, but yeah, for sure, season 3 will happen.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be great because we're going to see a lot more of these cinematics with the supers. It just, I just really don't know who else they're going to put in at this point. But I mean,
we still have the Saiyan girls. We still have.
If we could get,
we still need GT stuff.
If we could get the female Broly, Khalifa, and Kefla,
just have a team Broly. Yeah,
dude, let me get Broly, and Broly. I would love that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do just their fusion form or if they're going to be separate characters. I think they should do the separate characters. It'd be fun to have their fusion, but
I feel like they're pretty they're pretty solid standalone.
Yeah, and plus the lack of female characters as it is already in the game.
That's true.
I think they're really the only ones you can add because I don't know. I don't really know any other female character in Dragon Ball that could be a playable character aside from. I would like to have End of Dragon Ball Chi-Chi. That'd be cool. But there's no way we're going to get that.
You know who I really would like, though, in the game? And this is just because I love Tenkaichi 2. I want Grandpa Gohan.
Grandpa Gohan would be really fun. Yeah.
Or Master Yoshi.
Roshi.
Yeah. Not Yoshi. I'm still in Smash
Got that
mode.
Smash in it, yeah.
Yeah, if Master Roshi, with how he played out in the tournament, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, so we'll see. It depends how. I know they're just like, okay, yeah, gameplay is important versus who's joining the roster.
Correct.
So, yeah, like a lot of those tier of characters, like Mr. Satan for sure. Like, I just want it for the shits and giggles, but that's like, oh no, we don't want shits and giggles in this game.
Right.
So, yeah.
Which then makes me.
I think Super and GT should be the focus. If they want to do more movies, yeah, for sure, give me BoJack. Like, that's not even a question. Like, he would be a monster. And then, plus, you could get a dramatic finish with him and Team Gohan.
You really
That would
could.
be really great.
You really could.
Yeah. And speaking of Shonen Jump, Bandai being Bandai, when it comes to anime games, has announced that One's Justice 2 is coming next year. And the trailer showed off Season 4 characters because the anime is dropping next week.
Oh, so we got 12th. My boy?
Yeah, the boy's in there. Yeah, he's playable. Oh. And my only thing is...
It's an anime fighter, but you know what, man?
No, it's not even that. Like, One's Justice isn't even that old of a game.
It just came out last year, huh?
I believe it was, 2018. So it's only a 2-year-old game. Why not have a season 4 pass? It's totally doable. Maybe
they want to make it a better.
No, it's just it's because it's an anime game. I think that's just it. At the end of the day, they pump those out a lot. Look at Dragon Ball, for example. There's always a new Dragon Ball game every year. Whether it be a fighting game, an RPG game, whatever. Like, they're always constantly coming out with those. It's just...
this trailer really came out, like, yesterday.
Yeah, it just dropped. And, again, I just feel like it was such a young game. I don't really see the need for a sequel for a whole brand new game. And, sure, it does interesting things, but, again, it's an anime fighter, so I have no interest other than just collecting it just for the sake of having a My Hero game on a PS4. So
now I'm glad I did not buy the first one.
Yeah, no. Again, like I said, it does interesting stuff, but I don't think it's worth playing or worth full price for that matter as well. So that's happening.
Yeah, this game came out last year, August. Mm-hmm. So we're
So CE Otaku happened this past weekend, and of course, big fighting game tournaments happened there, and we got a new trailer for Guilty Gear.
Oh, with my girl May.
Yeah, she looks great.
She was one of my first mains when I picked up Guilty Gear, and seeing how she's playing out, I love it. Great to see that one of my next characters that I picked up, Axel Lowe, is coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really excited for that. I'm just really hoping that we get a full, decently sized roster. Which Guilty Gear games always do a great job of that. So
God, it just looks so clean.
It's gonna be great. I really need to go back and replay Guilty Gear Xrd now because I do not remember much of the story, and from what I've been reading on articles is that the storyline for this new game is going to take place very shortly after that. So I need to refresh up on my Guilty Gear history.
Okay. Nice. I never got to the series, but I think now I think I'm gonna check it out now.
Now is the best time to get into the series.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Now all I'm wondering next is when's my next Blaze Blue, man? I've been playing every single one.
Well,
since
Cross
day
Tag's
one.
out, so you're gonna have to wait till that game's almost dead. For the new one.
That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
Because Cross Tag is doing very well. I mean, they just also announced, I think, 6 new characters to their roster.
Yeah, out of nowhere after the reveal of the other characters.
Yep. Which is,
right?
I think, at EVO or shortly before EVO, they're like, hey, here's, I think it was 3 characters.
It was 4 characters. It was one from each of the main series in there.
And then one from a new one, right?
It was one from Ruby, one from Persona. We got the new one from Senran Kagura.
Yep.
And then the 4th one was a character from a series I don't know. I forget what
that was
it's
a
called.
tank guy, I think, right?
The tank guy. I love this video on Twitter. Like, this is a fighting game, and it's just the two giant tanks fighting each other. I'm like, yeah, what the heck's going on? Like, what kind of like PC Mugen looking ass shit is going on here, man?
Dude, it's once I saw that, I knew I had to buy the game. But then once I saw the characters being released in this last, news drop, I was like, okay, man, you've got all my waifus from Blaze Blue in like a crossover fighting game. So now I can have my Blaze Blue waifus with my Persona 4 waifus. I'm ready. I need to buy the game.
Yeah, I'm still kind of interested into checking it out. The fact that we're getting interesting, diverse Ruby characters. That's really the only series I know in that game, because I never played all the other series. So it's interesting to see what we're getting out of that. But yeah, it's like 6 new characters. That's fucking crazy. There's already so many characters in their roster as it is.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is almost a Smash size roster.
Yeah, and I believe so. Now I think the tally is 6 series in this crossover. Wild.
They can keep it coming.
Oh yeah.
You know what I would see next would be Guilty Gear. Because ever since Blaze Blue came out, in both games you could get a different skin color for a character of the opposing game.
Oh,
so you could have Ragna from Blaze Blue have skin color from Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. Jin Kisaragi have Kai Kisuke skin colors, which are really, really cool to see.
Cool, man. So, yeah, we'll see how much further this game progresses. And, yeah, you're going to have to wait a hot minute, because I think we have at least 2 more years of this game.
Look, man, if any of you ever get into Blaze Blue, just know that you're going to be left with more questions as you finish each installment. It's one of those games, but they're so great to see. Storyline's great. Content, I mean, just as far as the mechanics are great alone, because their clashes are just so cool. But again, check out Blaze Blue. I'm done fangirling about that. I'll wait patiently for my next installment.
Nice. Okay. And so this morning we got the trailer for Terminator. He's coming out, I think, next week for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I think early access is next Tuesday. They said October 8th.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's not Arnold's voice. We knew that. I mean, the guy does a decent job.
I don't think he's too bad, man.
Yeah,
I watched it a few times. I definitely got used to it.
You can definitely tell it's an impersonator, though, for like easily. I just wish Arnold did it. That'd be pretty fun. The fact that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the voice for Negan in Tekken, I would think NetherRealm, who got Ronda Rousey, would be able to get Arnold. So, it's so clean. It's fine. It's done.
It looks like it's done.
Man, Barack Obama, we're big fans of the boy. And congrats to him, since we're 16-hour session of his
17 hours.
Oh,
man.
17 hours of his
wild.
Dio tattoo from part 3 of JoJo. Looks fantastic. Yeah, shout out to that guy, man. He was at TwitchCon, and he brought out his G Fuel collaboration protein shakers. It's pretty fresh with his new logo, and he also had shirts, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
And
he also had a hat.
Yeah, he had hats.
That said, what did it say?
Oh,
fuck it, I'm still alive.
yeah, classic quote from the boy. And man, he was just so wholesome that weekend. I wish we were there.
I really do wish we were there too.
He dropped a tweet. He was like, you know what, guys, we're not going to be selling the shakers. We're just giving them out. So, come in line at this time. We're just handing these out. And I was like, damn, dude, that's so cool. And unfortunately, I missed the time when they dropped, and it sold out within like 3 hours. So shout out to Barack Obama for that. Great guy. But yes, and speaking of him, he did talk about the Mortal Kombat trailer for Terminator. He says he looks like he kind of plays like Jason, and I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I was actually about to make the same comment, because there's that move where he kind of pulls out the shotgun and it just keeps like triggering it. Reminds me a lot of how Jason you could do. I think it was like his down X or down something, and he had that yellow aura around him where nothing you could do would stop him at all.
Mm-hmm.
He could just go in for it, but then once that aura went away, open for punishment.
Yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't really expecting it was, I think, was it Scorpion set Terminator on fire, and it's just his exoskeleton.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I like that little thing. I need to know more about it. I need to know if that's going to be a thing for the whole, for the whole set.
I think it's just it might be for just the round. My guess is because it looked like he was just all the armor.
Right.
He was taking attacks, grabs like nothing, and just walking straight through it. The only thing I can think of is maybe there's a timer of you being in that mode, and so you have to defeat your opponent before you either blow up or you just die, kind of thing.
What I'm also thinking is that Mortal Kombat's pretty good about showing like the battle damage, so that may be his last like skin for all the damage he's taken.
Oh, if you get him to a certain percentage,
right?
I don't know about that, because that means every match you fight against Terminator, you have to realize, like, okay, I have to get him down as fast as possible, take the least amount of damage, because he's going to go into that mode, and then I just can't hurt him at that point.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see with more with some gameplay on that, since he's dropping so soon. Fatality was pretty cool.
I loved it. I thought it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm. And earlier today they showed off Sonya is getting a Sarah Connor skin, which is great.
Yep.
They did that with Predator and MKX with who was it? Somebody had a costume for Predator. That was pretty cool.
I can't remember.
Is it Jax? What's his name?
It may have been Jax.
Yeah, I think it was him. So cool stuff there. Still, yeah, I don't know, like the voices. I'm okay with the voice. It's a little weird. Because I guess because I just know what Arnold sounds like. You know, that's
and I feel like at the same time, I mean, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, you're really trying to be Arnold.
Yeah. But he's doing a way better job than the guy that did Iron Man in Marvel Infinite.
That's true.
Like, you could clearly tell that guy's trying to sound like RDJ, and he's not doing the best job.
No, I definitely agree. But, like I said, I watched it a few times, and his voice definitely grew on me, but initial reaction, I was kind of taken away from it. That's for sure. Because I'm like, I mean, it was also at 5 a.m. when I woke up and I saw that, and I put it into the group chat, but I was like, okay, man. But again, I grew on it. I'm really excited to try them out next week. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, freaking Ed Boon, 3 hours ago, posted that Cassie Cage's getting a Harley Quinn skin.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Whoa. I also love that when Arnold pulls the shotgun out, it's from Johnny Cage, from a set, and like all the toys fall off. That's pretty funny.
I feel like they're really going all over the place with this, with Mortal Kombat.
Oh, you know why she's getting that skin? It's because of Joker.
Oh yeah, of course.
And this clearly looks like Injustice. I feel like. I
didn't play too much Injustice, so I can't say.
Yeah. Because remember, it wasn't really the plan of. Oh, that's some Terminator references. A lot of Terminator references. And
there might be some
this.
Terminator Genesis
and
references.
this is because Dark Fate is dropping. That's the only reason why he's in the game, I think, and that's why he's coming out before any other actual characters from Mortal Kombat and before Spawn.
That'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's because the game's coming out or the movie's coming out. They're like, hey, here's some money, get people hyped for us.
Right.
Which is why Terminator's old in the game, which I think looks nice. I wonder what his other costumes would be.
I feel like that's the Genesis costume.
Well, no, yes, he was old in Genesis, but he's also old here in Dark Fate.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, he looks pretty good.
He looks great.
Oh, and then I was like, oh, okay, so he has a teleport move as well, where it's the time machine, the time travel stuff. I was like, okay, that's pretty fresh. I wasn't expecting that for him, so that's cool. Yeah, that's Mortal Kombat. Wild stuff we're living in. So big, I think this is pretty big. PlayStation's, their subscription service, PlayStation Now, where you get to stream a bunch of games, has a huge library. It's $100 a year. They announced today that they're
$100 a year.
It's $100 a year, right? They just dropped it in price, and they added 2 new plans. So it used to be only yearly. Now they have monthly and quarterly. Monthly's $10, quarterly's $25, and yearly is $60. And they announced
really
that God of War, Uncharted 4, and one other game just got added, and they'll be there until November next year, I think, or 2022. So I think that's a pretty big push, because now they're also starting to test with the whole you can download the games now, because before you could only stream.
Oh, so you could download them and then play them for like as long as
because I remember playing the private beta when it got announced, and it's like it was good at first, but then like when your Wi-Fi drops, like it's unplayable.
I remember that.
But also a reminder, you don't need a PlayStation to play PlayStation Now. No way. Yeah, you could do it on PC, or if you have, I think, a Sony television, you just Bluetooth your controller to the TV and stream.
That's wild.
As long as it's a smart TV, so yeah. So now technically you can play God of War on PC now. That's pretty cool. But yeah, wild to see a drop in price to $60. That's a pretty good deal. There's they have over 800 games on there, and it's from, I think, all generations of PlayStation.
I think so.
I know for sure PS3, PS2 on there. I don't know about PS1 games.
Legend of Dragoon. Time to go back in.
Time to get back in, baby. So that's pretty cool. And while we're talking about PlayStation, the wildest news, I thought, Sean Layden, the boy, he departed from PlayStation. No reasons were announced to why he's stepping down. That's pretty crazy, especially since Reggie also stepped down not that long ago. So man, that's crazy.
Well, I feel like Reggie stepped down for family, but I mean, I know he's still active in some of Nintendo's things, but Bowser's really taken over. I mean, this one with PlayStation, I just came out of nowhere. So, I mean, we can only hope to find out some info within the next few weeks.
Yeah, and that's not it, man. There was also today, Atsushi Morita, he's the chief in Japan. He stepped down.
Are we about to see a new gaming company?
Possibly. I mean,
with the big three.
It's, to me, that's pretty crazy that they both stepped down within the same week. I don't know if
not only that, but this is the same year because Reggie stepped down. I want to say,
was it this year?
Yeah, he stepped down this year. I want to say in May or April.
Yeah, it was pre-Evo. Yeah,
that's wild. That is crazy. New gaming company.
So okay, so the so for Atsushi, yeah, he stepped down, but they announced who's going to be taking over, and that is Kazuhiko Takeda. But we didn't get one for Sean Layden. We don't know who's replacing him. So that's wild. That's crazy. And Sean Layden was, he's been there for 30 years. He was the guy. There's a few people in PlayStation that really shaped what this PS4 generation was going to be, and Sean Layden was one of them. So to just see him leave is pretty crazy to me, man. Especially because if you remember, what was it? Last year's Evo, him, Reggie, and was it Phil? They all went up on stage. Microsoft, Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. Crazy news. To continue on the trend of PlayStation, we got a new director for the Uncharted film, Travis Knight. I don't know who that is, so I will pull it up real quick. It's just wild that this movie is taking so long. He directed Bumblebee. That's cool. Oh, and Kubo and the Two Strings. Nice.
Oh, okay. Paranorman, Box Trolls, Missing Link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Kubo's such a great film. I've heard nothing but good things from Bumblebee. I've yet to check it out.
I still need to see Kubo.
Oh, you haven't seen Kubo?
No, I need to.
Man,
that one and The Missing Link are the only two Leica Studios movies I have yet to see yet.
Yeah, Missing Link was, I think it came out this year.
Yep.
It's got my boy Hugh Jackman in it. And I just missed checking it out. I also need to watch, I have it on here, but I still have yet to see Box Trolls.
Box Trolls was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I got Kubo right here for you, man.
Oh, dude,
perfect.
I need to get that from you.
Yeah. And I got Box Trolls as well, I believe.
I think you'll like Box Trolls. A lot of fun.
Well, I like this studio a lot. It's just I've yet to... I need to really sink in for more movies. Interesting. So we'll see how long he lasts before he departs from this film.
I mean, how many times have they changed directors now?
I think he's like the 5th or 6th director for this movie. But then again, this movie's been in development for years.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Other than that, just a couple stuff. Fairy Tale mangaka Hiro is new. He has a new series, Eden Zero.
Okay, so I started it.
Oh, you did?
When it first came out.
Okay.
I got, I think, I want to say 5 to 10 chapters in. And the one thing that I will say is that I did like it.
Okay.
For what it started off with, from as far as I got, which was not very far at all, I did like it a lot.
All right.
It was a lot of fun. It was very refreshing. And I think I mentioned this to you. I was like, I didn't know that he reused some of his characters. Like Happy was reused.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a big thing for him. Like Jalal in Fairy Tale.
Right.
It's the same exact design as a character in Rave. And then I forget his name. I think it's Poon or Pooh.
The little guy with the carrot nose.
The carrot nose. Yeah, he was in Rave as well. Yeah, and Hero's one of those guys. He likes a certain aesthetic for his character designs. He just sticks with it. He's not the only one that I know. The guy that does History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, he's got a new series as well, and he's just same characters. Like they're all drawn the exact same way. So yeah. Anyways, he announced that there's gonna be a spin-off crossover with Eden Zero, Rave, and Fairy Tale. And it's just titled Heroes in all caps. It says with the translation, a new series is scheduled to start this month, October, where all these worlds fuse into one. And Eden Zero will not be suspended. It'll be simultaneous progress. And, Fairy Tale this guy Hero knows what he's doing, man. Because when Fairy Tale was a thing, super popular in Japan, right? Got a couple games. The fact that the final season for the anime,
just
high quality animation, and Fairy Tale had its own magazine for a solid year that had one backstory, like 2 or 3 spin-offs, like ridiculous, and that was, I believe, a monthly thing. To see this, he's getting a spin-off series in the magazine with his 3 main characters, and the post he has, it's all the main characters all put together, and it's literally just the same. Like, if you look at Lucy, Ellie, and whatever the new girl's name is in Eden Zero, they're just the same person. Somebody from Eden Zero looks like an adult version of Wendy. Of course, all 3 main characters, I believe all their names are based off of seasons. I don't know about the Eden Zero guy, but they all look exactly the same. And then, of course, with Grays and all that, so... Yeah, man.
This should be fun.
I will check out Eden Zero at some point. I just want to see what he's doing.
I need to hop back on Eden Zero.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna give it some legs before I hop into that. So that's just pretty wild that we're getting that. So we also got, I watched the new season for Terrace House and Chef Show. Both were great. Chef Show was amazing for Volume 2. I highly recommend it. It's only, I think, 10 episodes. Might be less, I'm not sure, but it was fantastic all the way through. They're like 30, 40 minutes. And it's really just friends having fun. So that's definitely worth a watch. And I did learn some new stuff, so I'm going to try that out next time I cook. Terrace House is Terrace House. Pretty good stuff there as well. And I got the email for this today. Coach, the clothing company.
Yes.
They are collaborating with Michael B. Jordan and Viz to come out with some shirts. And Michael B. Jordan, he's a big anime fan. He's working with Rooster Teeth for Genlock, their 3D anime. But yeah, they're doing Naruto shirts. Pretty wild, man. Because I just saw it's Coach.
We're really seeing... Oh, you know what? I'm not too surprised because I do have that new pair of kicks from Coach.
Oh.
That are like super...
They're super anime?
They are super anime.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, they are lady shoes, but they fit my feet, so they're my new shoes now.
Yeah. So yeah, they showed off one shirt so far, which, in my opinion, it's really what you would expect. It's kind of like Spencer's Hot Topic tier of placement for the shirt. It looks interesting, but it's nothing like jaw-dropping. I think the only clothing store that does that with anime is Uniqlo. Every time I hop on the site and look at the anime shirts, I'm just like, yeah, these are fantastic. So that's cool. Hope to see what more is going to be in this line for Viz. I don't know if it's specifically just Naruto or maybe it's other animes as well. So we'll see.
Are we going to get some nice bathrobes of the Uchiha symbol, though?
That'd be cool.
My question.
Show me the One Piece. Let me get some One Piece stuff. Because honestly, I was looking for some merch for One Piece, like clothing, and I'm like, there's really not a lot out there, huh? They did just drop Skechers. Right? Skechers just dropped a new line of One Piece shirts and flip flops. So I think I'm gonna grab some flip flops. Yeah,
you get some chanclas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my only problem with the shirt, so it's like Boa, Janemba, a few other people, and I'm like,
Janemba
or Janemba, fuck. I mean Jimbei. God damn. Their shirts are cool. My only thing, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that, is on the front, it's Boa's logo, right? The Kuja Pirates, and right under it just says Skechers. And I'm like, man, if this doesn't scream 8-year-old, I don't know what does.
I could feel the pain, man.
It's on all the shirts.
Is it like in pretty big font?
It's not that big of a font, but still,
it's noticeable.
The fact that it's also a different color, it stands out. It's either white or black text. I don't remember. I'll pull them up.
You had me when you said logo of the Kuja Pirates. I'm like, that's pretty cool, man. And then you said Skechers logo underneath, and I'm like,
yeah. And I mean, these they dropped shoes before, which look pretty fresh, but again, they're also Skechers, so it's like, yeah, it's whatever. It's only showing me the last drop, and those shoes are freaking expensive. Oh, here we are. Yeah, so we get that's right, Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Boa, Jimbei, the Straw Hat logo, and Law's logo with the shirts. I think Jimbei's is the freshest.
Oh, nice. The Sunfire logo.
Boa's, I'm like, yeah, it's purple, but then the logo's black, so it kind of kills it for me. So those are pretty cool. And let me see if I can pull it here. Okay, yeah, so it's just the logos of the flags. And then so if you look in the front, it's a smaller version. And then right under it just says Skechers. And that's where I'm like, I don't know. And they're $40 shirts, goddamn.
I guess that's...
Oh, then these are available in Singapore. But this is what I came to check out, is the flip-flops. Really fresh. Can I get the... No?
Can we get the landscape in here?
Please? No? Goddamn.
All right, here. Let me see that.
Okay, I'm going to pull it back up. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, but these are fresh. It's pretty much the same cruise. I think Ace got some, too.
Yo.
So let it load. Okay. Yeah, so we got a Whitebeard one. I guess those are One Piece. That's Ace for sure. Jinbei, Whitebeard, and Law. They're pretty fresh. You can check peep them. I think Jinbei's and Law's look the best. Probably.
Yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah, and I like how the logo for their flags are on the top.
I like how
well.
there's 2 different Whitebeard ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got 2 different colors for Luffy's. I mean, I feel that though, as much as I like Laws, you wear that in public, people are gonna be like, "Oh
whack,
man,
huh?
you like that leopard print, huh? You like that armored king in Tekken. You don't like regular king."
Yeah,
But it's I do like all of them. It's hard to choose a favorite. They all look pretty fresh.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. But again, it's Skechers. So like the shirts, I'm like, the shoes are still. I would like to grab a pair one of these days.
Didn't Miguel grab a pair?
No, he saw them out here, but I don't think he grabbed them up.
Yo, there's a Skechers factory on the way to Riverside.
Oh, that's true.
Gotta
they
go.
They have them in Cap Zone. But yeah, I think it's the best time to be a One Piece fan. I'm glad it's slowly getting the build up, that Dragon Ball Z has for popularity. So yeah, that's cool, man. Oh yeah, and a new color walk is coming out too. 300 pages of color illustrations. God, gotta love Oda's art, man.
You know what I still need to get from Oda?
What's that?
It's the Sanji cookbook.
Yeah. I don't think it's translated, but I would love to get it too.
I don't think it is, but I remember I knew somebody many years ago, right when it came out, they had ordered it from Japan, and we did the best we could to try and read that damn thing, but just seeing it right there, it's like, this is just a whole book of great One Piece food that potentially can be made.
Yeah. Gotta love One Piece, guys. Come on. If you haven't gone into it, just get into it already.
Just get into it now.
Please.
Best time.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't wait for this week for the new chapter.
You're going to have to do a spoiler alert, because...
Yeah, we're going to have to get pretty in-depth in what's been going on, like we said earlier, for sure. Hey, Promised Neverland, that's a good manga, good anime. It's really intense right now in the manga. We're nearing the climax, I think, for the series. But we're getting a live-action movie from Japan, so that's
I heard
cool.
about that.
My only thing is it's going to look pretty, their CG's not the best in Japan.
Right.
So we'll see how they do the demons, but that's pretty good. That's cool stuff. And that's going to wrap us up today, guys. Yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. I'm going to be seeing Joker this week with Akil. We'll talk about that next episode, see if it's good or not.
I think it'll be great, dude.
I've only heard good things about it.
Joaquin Phoenix is a pretty solid actor. The one thing I will say, which kind of made me chuckle about the movie that really stood out to me, was that Joaquin Phoenix made a statement that said, I was really tired of being so skinny for so long.
Man,
and I'm like, yeah, I believe it, because I think it was in the first or second trailer where you really see like his body, and I'm like, I don't know how you and Christian Bale are able to just morph your bodies for these roles.
You just don't eat, man. I remember Matthew McConaughey, I forgot what film he was in, but he had to talk about a diet, and like he would only eat 900 calories a day. And he's like, man, it's real tough. I'm like, I bet it is, man.
Kudos to those guys, man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll let you guys know in the next episode. Again, I've only heard good things about it. I watched a clip from the film that got leaked. And it's a pretty big scene. I'm not going to say anything about it. All I'm going to say is it's pretty intense what happened, what went down. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on the big screen. And also shout outs to the boy Sky Blue. The other day he dropped a new album, The Royal Blue Eccentrics. It's pretty good. You can listen to it on Spotify, grab it up on Bandcamp. It's just more Sky Blue content, which is pretty good. It's definitely some of his best, I think, as of recent. It's him and Scotty Royal who produced the album. Fun stuff. So we're gonna end it off on one of those tracks. Links in the description to peep it out for sure. And again, friendly reminder, we're on Spotify, guys. If you like listening there, go peep it out, or hop on the YouTube channel for that. So thanks for listening, guys, and yeah, we'll just kick back, catch you guys later.
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty. Yeah, it's that color theory. Love, paint the sky blue. It's like black nights, darkness, the black light. Civil, but we lack rights. Racism, black, white, fear the coppers. Better act right. Black eyes are black guys from boys in blue. Left without a wheel like a flat tire. Gold chains on our neck from the jewelers. But mentally slaves, they just made it look cooler. Brown for the skin that I'm in, unashamed. Yet I got love for all colors on this plane. Not terrain named Earth. Lavender flowers blossom from dirt. Under turquoise skies, a new birth. Playing Pokemon Emerald. Hope to show the world we got diamonds. Indigo child rhyming. Red for that devil in a dress. Trying the best to take away my soul. But give it a rest like truckers on a late night. Jaws of a great white. Soaring over ivory clouds. We simulate flight. They fake life. Thinking that nobody know it. But eventually everybody true colors start showing. It's a C-O-L-O-R-S-C-O-L-O. You know the rest. Theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. Yeah, it's the theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. Theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. Okay, it's the theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. Everybody in pursuit of that green American dream. For it they lie, cheat, scheme. Mesmerized by what they commercialize on the screen. Forgetting what liberty means. Yellow for the beam of rays. We need sunshine to lighten up the dark of your heart, including your mind. Crimson for the tie, Alabama in my blood. But Carolina blue on my back just because it's home, dude. Gray skies never last long. I'm livid, prolific, unlisted, the one they pass on. Jade, stone, neon songs. Skies are my home, royal blue zones. Never had a silver spoon, but I make do. One day, streets of gold we will awake to. It's all love, the purest vaccine. We're equal, not only one color is superior. The C-O-L-O-R-S. Yeah, it's the theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. Theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S. It's the theory of the C-O-L-O-R-S.